Good day, good morning, and good evening, Commanders. With the end of Season 1 in sight, I've decided to make a deep dive of all the ranked maps so that you can win lots in Season 2. The first map of the day will be taking us to Two Lakes. This old but reliable map is famous for its unbalanced play. The interesting thing about it is that both sides enter each other's towns. This leads to chaos most of the time and a scramble for positions. Today, I'll be teaching you how I control the chaos on Two Lakes so that hopefully you too can dominate ranked play on this map. Two Lakes, like all maps, has a better side. In this case, it's this one. This side is better because its offensive capabilities far surpass the other sides. The main reasons are the following. The first reason is is this ATGM spot right here. This ATGM spot cuts off the main road of supply to Oscar. The second spot is this spot, which blue actually gets to. Not many people know this. It is known, but not a lot of people actually use this. If you take a look, there's three roads in this town. We have the middle one, this one, we have the first one, and we have the third one. So first, second, also known as middle, and the third. The way we will get to this building is by pathing our guy, fast moving into here, then here, then here, and then deploying him here, just to be safe. What this will do is it will cut off the second road to Oscar, and it will make it nearly impossible for our enemy to hold this city if we play it well. We have an ATGM position here denying the road to Oscar, and we have a KCT with AT denying the second road. Another crucial thing to note is that the ATGM position here also denies three crucial fields of play. This one, and this one. These three fields are very crucial, and if you put tanks and IFVs on them, they can support infantry fights in this here town. But if you put an ATGM in this position, it automatically denies the enemy even the ability to place said tanks IFVs on these fields. So the enemy will have to play on this field. On this field, the enemy cannot support the infantry fight that is happening here. Because if you think about it, the forward deploy that we start with on Two Lakes is usually we have a forward deploy squad going to here, and we have a forward deploy squad going to here, and the enemy has a forward deploy squad going to here and to here. So the infantry fight will be in these building segments, and we will win it because we will bring up fire support and IFVs and or tanks later on in the game, whereas our enemy is denied even the ability to support his infantry in that fight. This is why Oscar is very easy to take and it's very easy to attack from this side. So my usual deployment consists of one guy going to sneak around, cutting off the second road of Oscar. I have an ATGM going to this position, cutting off the first road to Oscar, and then I have one FD or two FD contesting and having an infantry fight, delaying until my main force of infantry or autocannons arrives. I have one KCT Verkener seizing space here, allowing for this ATGM to come to this place in the first place. Usually, I have, for example, I might route an autocannon around to this spot, the same one that KCT Verkeners is, and or I might route through here, and then either I will decide to go forward and push my enemy, or if I see that my enemy is clearly blobbing or hard pressuring me on the right side, I can rotate this M113 to support the fight on the right at any time need be. That's for the attack on Oscar. You also get the church in Oscar, which makes it so easy to put a ATGM or a KCT Verkener, any recon unit, any grenade launcher, which will support your fight in these building segments. That's it for the attack on Oscar. Now for the defense. For the defense, we're gonna have a KCT Verkener going in the middle of the town. This is where we get to. I have a KCT Verkener seizing space on the left. Usually, I would place him here. If you take a look at his range on the law, it's 675 meters. So usually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to deploy him just here, out of the building, to stop any enemy vehicles coming down this road immediately. So I stop them, and then I will push up. I usually like to back it up with an M113 there, just to go around and see what's maybe like in the back line, or if need be, it will halt here and then help me hold whatever's coming down here. And I have an M113 or an ATGM or a tank in this position here. If you take a look, this LOS spot overlooks this entire road, which is very useful. Our enemy also gets the same spot, just better. He's in cover. However, most people do not use it. Like, a lot of people forget to even use this, and then it's just uncontested, and it's free kills. If you just stand on this here road, you're constantly gonna be farming free kills that come down, free vehicles that come down this road. Now, the enemy on attack will practically nearly every single time seize this bush area. And there's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. The way we mitigate that is by allowing him into it and then pressing him on every side. So what I would be doing is I would have, for example, KCT Verkeners in the town holding it. I would have KCT Verkener here. I would put an ATGM into this spot to cut off the main road of this town here. I have yet another ATGM or an autocannon to cut again the same road off multiple times. And now our enemy is moving into this bush area. What do we do? Well, we will play in this forest, and we will play in these buildings, and we will play in this forest. And then we will gradually, of course, we will seize this as well. And we will gradually move around our enemy and kill him vertically. Not horizontally, but vertically. Most people think when they play Warno, they have a horizontal defense, and then there's no depth to the and to like any of the play. There's no depth. There's no like tactical positions that you can take. It's just a horizontal defense. And for example, if your enemy breaks through either side, because you're placed so horizontally, this part of your town will fall. If your enemy manages to seize this, of course, your town will fall because you have a horizontal defense. If you have a vertical defense and a horizontal one, you will profit a lot in your games. Trust me, put some vertical defenses into work. They work really well. They put some depth between, they put depth and space between you and the opponent, and they will allow you to seize like good ATGM duels that you can win, good tank fights. And if you can set up, like for example, if you're playing with Leo 2A4s or 2A3s and your enemy is playing with T72s, playing horizontally and vertically will allow you to set up a tank fight which you will win guaranteed if it's max range. For example, this is a very good situation. If a T72, if an enemy T72 is, let's say, right here, and I have a 2A3 right here, this is a max ranged fight, and I will win this fight, always. I will always win this fight because I'm playing vertically and horizontally. I have the opportunity to create these fights which I will win in the first place. Now, our enemy will seize this bush. We will counter it by seizing this one, by holding a foothold in this town, by holding a vertical foothold in this town, putting a CV here, putting an ATGM here, seizing this bush, and seizing this area. We have now enacted both a vertical and a horizontal defense, and you will profit a lot from this, especially if you have leverage on the northern zone. If you have leverage here, if you took this zone and make your opponent need to push you out of this town, your opponent will not be able to, because we are playing a vertical defense. You have everything to win this town. Imagine if you place an ATGM here, ATGM here, ATGM here, ATGM here. You have like tanks rolling up and infantry to seize back this bush. You've seized all of this space. You've seized all of this. You've seized all of this. You've seized all of this. All these ATGMs cut off absolutely all play from the enemy whatsoever. The enemy here has absolutely no play, and he will just collapse under all the pressure, under all the positional play that we are forcing him to do against us. That's how you want to play this game, and that's how you want to play this map. The town here is decided over who has these flanks. We've seen this before. If your enemy, like I said before, manages to take these, if you have a horizontal defense, and if your enemy manages to take these flanks, your city will fall. No doubt about it. There is no holding this city if your enemy has reached up to here and up to here. There is no holding it. So if we enact a vertical defense and a horizontal one, and let our enemy push this as much as he wants, we will hold it, because we are the ones that are entrenched, the ones that he is pushing into and overextending into. We will kill him, we will counterattack this bush, and then once we have both of the flanks of this said city, no matter how much infantry is in this town, we will kill it eventually. Eventually. For now, in the opening phase, we ignore however much he has. We focus on the positional play. We focus up on setting good depths. We focus up on setting good ATGM positions. We focus on seizing space. And then we focus on the trades. And only then we focus on the points. And then we win this game. Very easy. It's very simple when you understand these things. When you play it like this, you will see that this is the optimal way to play, and it's very useful. Adding vertical defenses to your horizontal ones will make your defenses a lot stronger. Trust me on this. Another thing I like to do is I've said this already, but you go to his back line. You try to force your enemy, you force a lot of problems onto him. You've taken all the sides of the city, and you're still in it. So your enemy from this position, if we turn the camera around, your enemy, if you got to his back line, if you've gotten to this area and to this area, imagine how this looks for the enemy. This looks very bad for the enemy. The enemy looks like the only area of life that he has left is this little bubble. And the enemy now looks very encircled. And if you play from blue's position well enough, you will most likely win this game. Unless, of course, you're weak. If you're weak here, if you're weak here, if you're weak here, if you're weak here, my bad. If you're weak here, and you allow your opponent to break through somewhere, of course, then you're going to see problems arise. But if you're strong everywhere, you have a very good vertical defense, you have um, very good units that are in his back line, you will find yourself seeing a lot more improvements in your tank fights, a lot better positions, and a lot better ADGM duels that you're going to take. Another thing, when you're playing ranked in general, what I like to do is I always start with at least 2 recon helicopters. I always send them to their deaths, no matter how many points they are, because it will give me valuable intel on the enemy. If I spot my enemy's blob very early, and I know that it's here, I know immediately that I can take Oscar and move all of my units to respond to his attack. And also, I will know where to spend my first tick on. If it's very crucial that you know where to spend your first tick on. It's actually very, very, very important. it will you will see a lot of improvement and a lot more wins in your games if you are the one with the early advantage and you like improve upon your advantage in the early game. This is how you want to play this map on this side. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be covering the worst side of Two Lakes in my next video coming out soon. Stay tuned for that.